The last light fades across dry savanna as Kito emerges from a termite mound, beginning another uncertain night hunt. Wind bends brittle grass while Kito lowers his nose, following unfamiliar scents across dusty ground beneath thorn trees. Kito pauses over tiny tracks, then advances slowly, reading fresh disturbances left by rodents moving through the darkness. His powerful foreclaws strike hard soil, sending dry earth backward as Kito opens a small burrow searching for prey. A small rodent bursts from another opening, escaping between stones while Kito quickly turns and searches the disturbed earth. Under thorn branches, Kito follows a lizard crossing warm sand, then pushes his muzzle beneath a fallen log. The lizard disappears into dry leaves, leaving Kito probing the narrow gap with patient, powerful jaws and foreclaws. His loose skin and compact body help Kito twist naturally as he searches difficult hiding places for hidden food. Morning heat intensifies, forcing Kito between scattered patches of shade, while insects and small animals leave fresh traces. Kito digs again beside a shallow depression, but the disturbed earth offers nothing. Every search does not produce food. Near a rocky slope, Kito detects another scent and notices a Cape porcupine moving slowly through thorny scrub. The porcupine crosses open ground ahead, while Kito watches from behind a low bush, assessing distance and danger. Kito approaches cautiously, but the porcupine turns sharply, raising its quills and protecting its vulnerable rear from attack. Kito circles across rocky ground, searching for an opening, while the porcupine keeps its defensive quills facing him. A sudden rush brings Kito close, but the porcupine pivots again, presenting a dense barrier of sharp quills. Dust rises beneath Kito's paws as he changes direction, testing another approach without finding a safe path forward. The defensive barrier remains effective, and Kito finally retreats, choosing survival over a dangerous attempt to seize food. Under a thorn tree, Kito pauses and watches the porcupine disappear, remaining hungry after this failed confrontation today. The savanna grows quiet again as Kito resumes walking, his nose close to the ground beneath bending grass. Kito investigates a fallen branch, searches beneath stones, and follows fresh tracks toward a shallow, dry drainage channel. A small mongoose suddenly appears between rocks, and Kito freezes instantly, watching the smaller animal prepare to escape. The mongoose darts toward cover, and Kito follows through grass, accelerating briefly before the short chase ends quickly. The mongoose disappears into a narrow opening, leaving Kito digging at the entrance while the prey escapes beyond reach. Kito abandons the blocked passage and continues searching, adapting again as afternoon heat spreads across the dry landscape. Beside a dry watercourse, Kito discovers an abandoned feeding site carrying fresh prey scent through the surrounding dust. He approaches slowly, nose almost touching the ground, carefully investigating scattered remains for anything edible and safely accessible. New tracks appear from the opposite direction as a black-backed jackal emerges cautiously from the tall grass nearby. The jackal stops several meters away, watching Kito beside the food while neither animal immediately commits to confrontation. Kito lowers his head as the jackal steps closer, both animals measuring distance around the valuable food opportunity. The distance shrinks, and Kito turns toward the intruder while the jackal moves sideways, testing the space around him. The jackal makes the first move, advancing toward the food before Kito suddenly surges forward to defend it. Dust bursts beneath their feet as the jackal retreats, then circles back, searching for another approach to the food. Kito keeps his body low and turns with every movement, refusing to surrender the feeding opportunity without pressure. The jackal approaches again, but Kito's heavier body blocks access, forcing the smaller competitor to stop beyond reach. Another rush sends the jackal backward, and Kito remains beside the food, holding his ground after earlier failure. At last, the jackal moves away across the grass, leaving Kito alone beside the abandoned feeding site there. Kito feeds briefly as the sun sinks toward the horizon, finally gaining enough nourishment after repeated failed hunts. Darkness spreads across the savanna as Kito disappears between thorn bushes, continuing through a landscape without guaranteed safety.
Kito survives through persistence, digging strength, flexible skin, opportunistic feeding, and knowing when another opportunity demands retreat to survive.
Across Africa, survival belongs to animals that adapt when landscapes resist them. Kito vanishes into darkness, still moving.